Welcome to episode 4. Y'all, we are just so delighted. We are having so much fun, and according to your comments, you're having fun too, and we love that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, we're making some changes, aren't we, Mom?
Yes, we are. We're
doing some fun things that we are never done before. Yep. So, as always, we can't wait to hear your feedback. One of the changes is that we are going to release the show as we have been.
Right.
We shared a question recently on Facebook, and we were asking folks, like, which do you like better? Do you like just the segments or the whole show? And it was kind of both, wasn't it?
Yeah, we want to try and give people what they want and at the same time do what we need to do. So we decided to do this. Tell them.
We're going to still release the show in its entirety in the 30 minutes because we know that there are those of you who love to watch it like that. And yay, thank you. We love to share it with you like this. But we also know that, gosh, we're all so busy. And so there are some folks that it really is easier to just kind of have, catch up in little bits throughout the week. So
that's right. We're
going to start releasing the segments themselves throughout the week as well. So stay tuned for that fun stuff.
Plus, many fun things are coming. I did my first ever beauty thing blog. I don't know.
So cool, you guys.
Anyway, well...
It's great. And so there is. So Mom, we're, shaking up some of the content a little bit too. So Mom has done a whole thing on makeup for older ladies.
Yes.
And so you're going to see the intro to it in today's episode. And then we're going to share a link where you can watch the entire transformation and makeover in that because it's a longer process.
It's not that long, but by the way, it's too long for what we're doing.
It's just too long for the show.
So yeah. I give you kind of a taste of it, and I tell you how I'm going to wash my face and go see what I look like with no makeup. It's going to be fun.
And then we're also going to be mixing in the kitchen segment, and sometimes that might just be me. Sometimes it'll be my mom and I. I'm totally trying to talk my dad into joining us. So
he's an incredible, incredible chef.
He is. He's where I have my love of cooking from.
That's right.
We're really excited. We're doing some new stuff because again, we're listening to you. And gosh, today's episode also has. We're getting ready for fall, y'all.
Oh, Lord.
So there's some of that too. So anyway.
Inspiration.
Yes.
Shall I say
Inspire us.
All right, here we go. The inspiration for today is this. When in danger or in doubt, run in circles, scream and shout. No, that's really not going to help.
Oh my gosh.
Really, the real inspiration,
No.
let me tell you, is be ye kind one to another.
Yeah.
Now that is hard to do because people can get on your last nerve, and it is almost too much for anybody to bear. But really, that's what we need to be. And by the way, we feel better when we act like that. So there it is, the real inspiration.
And that is great inspiration. I was just listening to a podcast by Joyce Meyer because I love Joyce Meyer. And it was all on not taking offense. And how it's so
hard.
easy. You guys, we have so many opportunities every day to get offended.
Yeah.
And, her teaching just reminded me, it was like a 5-part series. So she's really got something to say about it. Obviously, this is something that other people, not just me, are wrestling with. And it was really good. So I love that.
I don't wrestle with it.
So before we go, I do want to chat with you really quick about today's giveaway. So we are doing, in case you don't know, I have created a Celebrating Everyday Life daily planner. And I do this every year for you. And it's just, you guys, I'm all about keeping our lives organized and going smoothly.
She is.
And not that I'm always great at it because, I'm an imperfect human, imperfect busy mom. But this has really, really, really helped me. And it is an online, you download this. It's a digital planner. And then I printed mine out. And so this is the 2018 version because there's still time ahead. And honestly, the months that are ahead are some of our busiest months of the whole year. So one lucky viewer is going to get this for free. And the way that you enter is to share the link
for
to
our
today's
show.
episode on our Facebook channel. But if you want to check out your own copy, there's going to be a link in the show notes for you to go to the site. It's very affordable.
May I ask you something, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Do you have to print it out or can you use it online?
You do need to print it out.
Okay.
It's not, I'm actually working on the 2019 version right now. So it's going to be available in October. And I'm trying to see if there are some ways to make it editable online. I haven't really explored that entirely yet.
Okay.
But I like writing things down
Yes,
for
she
keeping my
does.
daily life planned. I'll put certain events in my phone, but honestly, writing things out, it helps me remember it better too
Right.
by having the action of writing it. So anyway, I'm really proud of this. It's a giant planner. If you see here, I share in a certain post about how to assemble it and everything, and I'll share the show notes to that. So one lucky winner gets
That's right.
the
Also
Celebrating
remember,
Everyday Life planner.
there's only 4 more months in the year, so you don't have to print the months that have already gone by.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that's even better.
And I have, I use the this disc bound binding system, and I share about that in the post too.
Okay,
It's my
good.
favorite. If you're not familiar with disc binding, ooh, you're gonna love it because it's so flexible. You
Yeah.
can take it out and reuse it instead of spiral binding. You can't. So, all
Okay,
right,
here we go.
we're off for the episode. Thanks for tuning in. Today I want to invite you into the kitchen with me. We're going to be making a delicious bruschetta, or if we want to get very Italian, we can bruschetta. But it's a delicious open-faced sandwich. It's delightful to serve at parties if you want to have it as a sweet appetizer, but I love it as a fast lunch, and it's a really great thing to do if you have been gardening this year and you have all of these tomatoes still coming in, these end-of-season tomatoes. It's a great way to make use of them and eat them up, but make it feel a little bit more special than maybe some of the ways that you've been using them. To make this, it's very simple and easy. You need a delicious bread, a ciabatta bread, you could use a baguette bread, you could use just an Italian herbs and cheese bread, just some kind of nice, somewhat crusty bread that's going to hold its own when it's sliced. Then you're going to need, of course, some of those tomatoes, and I like to get when we're at Walmart or Costco, we always find those beautiful heirloom tomatoes. I'm not gardening at the moment, but my neighbor has been gardening wonderfully, and he's been very kind in sharing some of the bounty of his garden. And so we also have some wonderful homegrown tomatoes that we're going to use as well. So your favorite kind of tomato, and then of course some mozzarella cheese, some olive oil, and some basil, our friend basil. So these are very simple ingredients that can come together. This may be something you make all the time. I'm going to show you a couple of tips on how to make it, spruce it up just a little bit, and of course just how to make it easy. So let's jump right in. The first thing you want to do is you want to get your bread and you want to slice it. Again, you don't want to slice your bread too thick. If you slice it really thick like this, you're just going to have these big chunks. But we want to slice it just nice. I want to say, what is that? Maybe ½ inch or so. And it's okay when you're cutting these ciabatta breads, you're going to have little holes in it, things like that. That's totally okay, except that you want to make sure the holes aren't too big because then obviously your toppings are going to fall through. So once you slice your bread, you want to take it, and I'm going to show you a couple easy tricks to really jazz up the flavor here. Because you could totally just take this, pop it in the toaster, but it's not going to be as delicious as it could be. So what I like to do is take a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to pour it right on this dish. And then I'm going to take a little bit of salt, and I'm just going to grind it right in there. When you go to fancy Italian restaurants, well, maybe not super fancy, but still, they always bring out the nice bread and the oil and with the herbs, and so this is kind of like a quick homemade version of that. Take your olive oil and your salt, and you want a brush or something for this. You could also dip it in there, but that might make it a little too heavy on there. And I'm just going to lightly brush this on the bread. And then I'm going to take a clove of garlic. A little bit of garlic greatly enhances the flavor, but too much and it's going to just be overpowering. So to avoid getting too crazy with it, because if I start mincing this garlic, it's just gonna be too heavy on there. So I'm gonna take this clove of garlic, and if you notice, it still has the skin on it, right? The wrapper. This is a really easy way to get that off. You're gonna take the whole thing, and you're gonna take a knife that has a nice wide base like this. And we're going to just put the knife right over it. I'm gonna take the heel of my hand and press down. Hear that satisfying crack sound? And look, now the wrapper is gonna just poof, come right off, easy peasy. And bonus, my garlic is now starting to release this wonderful oil that's in it. I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna rub it on the face of the bread, just like that. And it's gonna give me just enough of the nice garlic flavor. It's kind of the essence of the garlic without overpowering the dish. So you wanna get all of these ready, and then we're just gonna pop it in the toaster oven just for a couple of minutes. You want it to get a nice light golden color. I have these beautiful slices here, all ready to go. And so now they're ready to be dressed up. See, I told you, this is so easy. You can put this together for yourself for a quick, delicious lunch and make yourself feel fancy when you're just at home. So I'm gonna take a couple of tomatoes and a nice sharp knife, and I'm just gonna slice these. So we're gonna get a few of these and lay these on here. So take a piece and look, just pop a few on there. And then we're gonna take some mozzarella. Now again, you can use the big pieces of mozzarella like this, or even the little tiny ones. It's really whichever you prefer, whatever you can most easily get your hands on, because it really doesn't matter. And we're just gonna slice that up into little bite-sized pieces. And if these pieces are still a little too big for you, you can even cut these in half. And we're just going to pop these on there. I love cheese. I like to say I ate my way across Europe, just eating cheese plates everywhere I went. It's one of my favorite things. And then of course, the final touch to a good bruschetta dish is to take your basil leaves, because that's our third element. Now, when working with basil leaves, what I like to do is I like to take my leaves, peel them off the plant, give them a quick rinse, and dry them off with a paper towel. And then I'm gonna take these and I'm going to roll them. So let me get this out of the way. And I am just going to roll these little leaves like this. And you can either take a knife like this one and just slice, 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 or you can also take a pair of kitchen shears, which this is so easy, and you can lay it, just go right over your dish, and you get these beautiful ribbons. And if they're falling in chunks like that, you just peel them apart real quick, and you have these perfect size ribbons for your dish. Again, just like that. And then for your final step, you can just drizzle a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil on it. I also like to do either a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and then sometimes, because that just really adds, that just adds a really nice savory flavor. But if you want to make it a tiny bit sweeter, it's delicious if you drizzle a little bit of honey on there. If you have fresh figs that are just coming into season, you can slice those on there. That adds a really beautiful depth of flavor to it. And I just recently discovered at our local Walmart this uncured bacon jam, which is like now my favorite condiment ever. And that's really delicious as a base on bruschetta like this as well. So I hope this inspires you to use your last minute summer tomatoes in a fresh new way that is so easy. It's perfect for weekday lunches, but it's fancy enough that you can totally serve this to guests if they're coming over as well too. So thanks for joining me in the kitchen.
Hey guys, good to see you. This week I want to talk about realistic, believable makeup. I've been looking on YouTube for videos for makeup for mature skin, mature women. Most of those women look like they're 45 to me. That's not that old since I just turned 70. but I wanted to show you what I believe is easy to do, believable makeup that you can wear to work, that when you're standing in front of someone saying, hi, how are you? They're not going, what is on your face? Because a lot of those makeup videos have very heavy makeup, very heavy foundation, contouring, excessive eyes, lashes, and all. I don't have time for all that, but I do like to look nice when I go out or when I'm out and about with people because of my salons. And actually, if you don't know, if you go to facevaluesalon.com, that's my salons. I have 2 of them, and I do a lot of bridal hair and makeup, which also gives me the opportunity to work on mothers of brides and grooms, and they have mature skin. So I've had to learn how to do the hooded eye, since also I have that myself, and I've had to learn how to do minimalist kind of makeup, but that makes a difference for photography. We're not talking about being in a studio under lights. We're talking about being at an event where people are coming up so close to you and saying, hi, how are you? And you're saying, thank you for, oh, I'm so happy to see you. And if they say you look nice, you know you do, so that you can get a really nice look without all of the contouring, all of the effort, the level of effort that you really truly see on these other videos. Now, it may look simplistic, I understand, but it works for me. A lot of you said, I look really pretty, I'm very beautiful. Thank you very much for all that. But I say, if the barn needs painting, you paint it. And my barn needs painting. Also, let me say this. I don't care how much money you spend on cosmetics. If your skin is not in good shape under those cosmetics, nothing will help you. It's like hanging wallpaper on a wall that is all roughed up. It's got to be prepared. By that, what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if you want to buy Olay or anything from the drugstore, but you need to have a good exfoliator, good moisturizer, good cleanser, things like that, so that you keep your skin in optimum condition, because it will look better longer. I actually am a Mac Pro makeup artist. I do a lot of bridal things. I work on, we did actually the wedding for the chairman of CEO of GoDaddy.com. He had his wedding here, and I took care of his bride, did her hair and her pieces and everything. But I use a spray silicone base by Temptu for that. But for every day, just a nice base that goes on quickly, doesn't go in your lines, doesn't really make too heavy a coverage, and other things like that I want to teach you. If your skin is not exfoliated properly, I don't care what you spend on your makeup base, Chanel, whatever, it's not going to sit well. You've got to have your skin smooth as can be, prepped as possible. This will help you with lines on your face and everything. It just makes a huge difference. So you need to know about that. And you can use, Biore makes a really good baking powder scrub for your face that you can use in the shower. You don't want to scrub like you're heading to China, but you do want to exfoliate that skin so that any skincare product you put on works. It can get down and do its job. If not, you've got too many layers of dead skin for it to try and go through. Having said that, also, it doesn't matter how much money you spend on skincare if you do not use it faithfully. That's really important, because I've been known to buy something like, from modeling, I took off so many false lashes. My lashes are very thin, and there are several products on the market that can work for that, but you better do them every night. And if you don't do them every night, then what's the good of it? So you really got to be diligent in taking care of your skin. I like the fact that I don't have a lot of lines. My lids aren't very crepey, which is good, but I want to stop aging as much as I can. You notice today too, I have on a higher collar. As you all know, I'm a little bit embarrassed about my neck, but whatever. That's another story. But anyway, I'm going to start in just a few moments. I'm going to go remove all my makeup, and then we're going to start from there, and you'll see my skin from skin out, what I do, what I use, and what it looks like. And you'll just see whether you think that's good or not. You can let me know. Okay, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Today I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful fall-themed window box.
Now these tips are great if you're also trying to create a fall themed container, planter, or something like that. They're interchangeable. The elements that we're going to use to create this today are a mix of real plants. We're also going to use some cut plants that I've cut from my yard. We're going to use some silk plants. Yes, we are. And we're also going to mix in a few branches as well. And I have found by mixing these elements that so often you want to think, no, it's taboo, I can only use one kind. But by mixing these, we are going to achieve something that looks so beautiful, so magazine worthy, and yet it's just with a few simple elements that I have found these different things at my Lowe's garden center, my Walmart garden center, in the faux flower section there. I know stores like Dollar Tree also have great faux flower stems that you can look at. And so by kind of branching out, reaching through these different resources, going for a walk and cutting things from your yard, you really can create a lush, beautiful arrangement, and that's what we're going to style today. Now, when looking for plants to use in your containers or your planter boxes like this, there are 3 elements that I want to encourage you to look for. You want to look for a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. So we want one plant that's going to kind of be this wow factor focal point. Then we're going to look for some filler plants. They're going to help just, supporting players that are going to help fill in the space. But then we don't want everything just happening up top here. We want some spillers, some things that are going to gracefully fall over the edge and look really beautiful. So keep that in mind as you're shopping your garden center, shopping your home, shopping your craft stash of faux flowers that you might have for elements that can meet each of those criteria. All right, let's get started. Now, because my planter is actually a double wide planter, I need to treat the edge of one of my planters as the center point. Now, if I was just doing one planter like this, I would of course want the center to be here. But because my planter is covering 2, I'm going to create my center focal point over here. And then I will completely mirror what I do, but the opposite way so that my center point will match up when I put the 2 together. Now, to start, I love these like cabbages, flowering kales, plants like this that are very ornamental. They are just speak fall to me. So this is one of my star plants for this. This is one of my thrillers that I've chosen. Of course, I think I have a few. I've probably overdone it, but I love to have fun with this. So that is this plant. So I'm going to take this out, and I've already put some dirt in my box. Now, remember, when you're pulling plants out like this, make sure that you take, and if it's getting root bound at all, you want to break up the roots just a little bit. And then just make a little room. And like I said, this is my center point. Now, I'm going to push it up against the side here as much as I can, but I'm going to have it back a little because I am going to tuck a couple other little beauties in front of it. Now I'm going to plant this beautiful coleus right next to this. I love the variegated color of this. I have these little sweet potato vines, and these are kind of end of season deals that I found. And again, see how root bound that is? So we just want to break this little guy up, give him some room to breathe, pull that out. And then these beautiful petunia plants. Now this is a particular petunia that is cold hardy. So, you could also use pansies here. That would be a great plant for this. When you're looking at plants in the garden center too, don't be afraid to look at container plants like this, because this is actually multiple plants in one pot. See, I can pull this out, and now I got this plant on clearance, and I'm getting a ton of plants out of it. It's such a great deal. So you don't have to spend a lot to get a lot. And now that I've got my main live plants in here, I've got my sweet potato vines, I've got these cold weather petunias, I've got my lantanas, my coleus, my ornamental kale. So now I'm going to start adding in some of my spiller plants. Now some of these accents, again, I know my sweet potato vine is going to grow a little bit and give me some of that beautiful spill effect, but I want some instant gratification there. So I'm going to start adding in some of my faux plants, and then I'm going to give these a little bend so they start to get the shape that I want. Berries are always great for fall containers. You can use faux berries like these.
But you can also go on a little nature hike and look for branches like this that have berries on them. Now, these kind of branches, when you've cut them like this, obviously they're going to start to die. What I like to do is go through and actually take the leaves off the branch, but leave the berries, because then they're going to dry beautifully. They're going to start to look like that beautiful grapevine that we see in a lot of these pictures when we look online. Another element that I love to mix in to fall containers, especially because it really continues to convey the fall theme, are mini pumpkins. But I don't want to just set them in there and hope that they're going to stay. So what I like to do is just take an item that I always have in my kitchen. It's a little barbecue, a little like kebab skewer, and I want to attach this to the pumpkin. But if I just put it in there, there's a good chance it's going to pop off. So what I like to do is first make a hole in my pumpkin. But then I'm going to pull this back out. I've got my hole ready, and I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on there. And by doing that, that's really going to help secure this. So I'm just going to put a dab of hot glue right here, and then make sure it's on my skewer and push that in. And the combination of the hot glue plus the skewer into the pumpkin, I now have a gorgeous pick that didn't cost me very much, because I can get a whole bag of these pumpkins, these different fruits and things at the Dollar Tree, at Michael's, at Walmart, and make my own. And then I'm free to just stick it right in. And again, if this skewer is too long, easy peasy, snap it right in half, make it the length that you want, because then you can tuck it in and just instant fall impact that easily. This is such a great way to add welcome and charm and beauty to your home this fall season. So I hope you've gotten some good tips, some good ideas, and are inspired to go create your own beautiful fall themed window planter today.
Fun with you today.
It was really a blast.
I mean, we were cooking and Mom was doing makeup.
Yes, you got to see all the real beauty, whatever.
Yes, the real behind the scenes. And then the fall planter. I hope that you enjoyed that and are really going to give that a try.
Wasn't that pretty?
I love,
Very nice.
The thing I like about it is that it kind of takes you from late summer into the fall. It didn't feel so fall-y that you're like, I can't set pumpkins out on my porch right now. Because you didn't have to add those little guys. So, and don't forget to share the link to win a free copy of the Celebrating Everyday Life Planner to get your life totally on track for these last 4 months. Let's end the rest of the year strong. And just share, and to enter, share the link on our Facebook page to today's episode. And go try those beauty tips. I hope that you like them. They're awesome.
Thank you, too, for joining us today. We hope that you all have a wonderful week. We will see you next week. And again,
thanks for celebrating Everyday Life with Jennifer
and Lucinda. Bye-bye, guys.